caught up with you, it was the beginning of the regatta. You hadn't raced in a while, but now you have a few very windy days under your belt. How are you guys feeling in the boat?
We're getting back into our rhythm of things, I think, here at the regatta. I think this is a good check-in for us against our main competition. I think we have a good gauge of kind of where all the other countries are sitting in the race course, and I think we're walking away with some additional things we need to work on before we show up for Sail for Gold.
Now, just for the sake of getting a little backstory, how did you and JP come to start sailing together?
Well, JP and I have known each other for quite some time before we started sailing together, and I know the coaches have been kind of pushing us to get into the SKUD to sail together, and we decided to hop in a boat, and we discovered that we thought it would work.
Now, you grew up in France, correct?
That's correct, my home country.
And how did you come to be both living in the U.S. and sailing on behalf of the U.S.?
Well, actually, my wife is the one that brought me from France to California, my late wife. And so, I came to the United States in 1983. And very quickly I started working and still enjoyed the sailing in the U.S. And when I started campaigning, I knew I wanted to become a citizen. So I became a citizen in 2003, actually, before I did a campaign in the sonar class.
Now, what are some of the unique challenges of sailing these boats in really heavy conditions?
In breeze, it's all about keeping the boat upright, keeping the water out of it, and for us, being able to keep our speed downwind. So yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge in the breeze because we can't hike out on this boat. In the SKUD, we have to sit centerline, but it's really more of a coordination between JP and I to make sure that the boat stays upright.
Describe the most difficult maneuver that you have to do as a crew on SKUD-18.
Well, interesting maneuvers are the mock groundings because I have to handle all the lines. So especially the leeward mark, where you have to take down the spinnaker, and sometimes we have to do a jibe right at the mark too before rounding up. So taking down the spinnaker, jibing, and going back up when bringing the two sails, jib and main, all that has to happen pretty fast. So that's something you have to keep working at.
Some of the other crews in the other SKUDs are disabled in different ways, of course. You have use of your legs. Are there any particular rules about having to stay seated while you're doing maneuvers, or can you pretty much do anything that you want crew-wise?
Yeah, no, there's pretty specific rules as far as the SKUD class is concerned, and for the crew, for both actually sailors, we have to be seated at all times, so we're not allowed to get off our seats. So that's one of the challenges. We also we have to wear a kind of a seat belt that doesn't allow us to get out on hikes. So yeah, sometimes it feels a little awkward because you feel like you really want to be moving around and grabbing lines and everything, but you're pretty much captive and you have to stay in your seat at all times.
Now, what's your plan between now and Sail for Gold, which is your next event?
Yeah, well, we've got some physical work we're going to be working on. We've got some boat work, etc., that needs to take place between now and Sail for Gold. We've got some very key training time, both pre-Sail for Gold and post-Sail for Gold, that we'll be working on. So I think we've got a pretty good plan between now and beginning of June.
Gotcha.